extra time.
There's been a lot of talk about how the Indian bowling attack outplanned and outbowled the Australian attack. That's something Tim Payne also spoke about. The idea of sticking to straight lines and strangling the batsman on the leg side. How did you come up with that idea? And was there a risk involved as well, in the sense that the margin of error could be sometimes a bit low? So can you just give us some insight on that?
I think that's a very, very interesting question, because I think Ravi Shastri called me sometime in July, and when we were discussing the Australian tour, he said that we need to take the offside out of the Australians. So we had our own analysis, and then we felt that most of the runs that Steve Smith and Labuschagne got, and most of the Australians, they had got a lot of runs out of the cut, the pull, and on the off. So we said now, even we took a cue out of the New Zealand attack when they bowled to Steve Smith. They had attacked more of his body line, and he had felt very, very uncomfortable at that point of time. So the plan, Ravi called me up and said, I want you to make a plan so that where you eliminate the offside for the Australians. So then we sat about and planned the whole thing. And therein lies, we said, we are going to attack more straighter lines and have onside field. So it is very difficult for batsmen to be consistently clearing the onside fields. And so that really worked for us. The thought process of it started sometime in July. And then when we had a discussion with the, first was Virat bought into the theory. We employed that same strategy in Adelaide. And then Ajinkya was magnificent from Melbourne onward.
India now has a good team of fast bowlers. Do you think that Brisbane Test is an indicator that as and whenever we are in need, whenever Ishant Shami are not available, the transition phase will be smooth with new bowlers coming in like Siraj Saini and Shardul?
See, it is not done right now. We had been planning this over the last 3 years. We said we need an excellent bench strength, because if you need India to be sustainingly doing well at international level, you need a pool of bowlers who would be rotated time and again so that they stay fresh. And at any given point of time, any match, you would be fielding a fresh set of bowlers who are raring to go and who are very good at the international scene. So now we are blessed with this great bench strength. So it's very, very heartening to know that these guys have come to the party. They've been given the opportunity. They have gone on and done an excellent job for the country. I think this tour would give them the necessary confidence to do well for the country at any given point of time.
Like, you have always spoken about creating a good bench strength over these years, and that had been an emphasis. So when you see Siraj, Shardul, Saini, all these people performing, do you feel that very slowly, as and when the transition happens, Ishant, Shami, they are not getting any younger, maybe 2-3 years down the line?
It's a very healthy trend. It's an embarrassment of riches. Now, you cannot take away the credit from what these bowlers have done. Ishant, Shami, or Umesh Yadav have been magnificent for India, and they are still got a lot of cricket in them. But as I said earlier, for us to rotate bowlers and make sure that each one is absolutely fit and raring to go, to be able to bowl 140. I think this tour has taken a lot out of these boys because of the spate of injuries that have happened. But now, in the future, when we have 7 fast bowlers willing to play for the country, especially the number of test matches that we're going to play, 4 against England now and 5 in England, that's a lot of test matches if we need to give in our best performance. So I think it'll be extremely handy, more than looking at how we are going to face them out. I think they have enough cricket. Their experience is outstanding, and they are still good enough to perform for India. So yes, these boys will also be there. And we spoke about the rotation policy. They'll all be rotated and make sure we put the best team on the park.
So we also, how challenging this tour was, like match after match, you just kept losing bowlers after bowlers, and then you pretty much had a very green on attack. So how challenging was it personally for you? And of course, you worked a lot with all these kids from a few years. So what were the words that you sent them? What are the messages that you gave them? And how did you sort of get them so equipped in the very second, third match they were playing?
See, actually, the Australian tour itself is a great challenge that any past cricketer who's toured Australia or any of you watching would know that it's probably one of the most challenging tours. And especially during this COVID times, I thought it was a great move by Ravi Shastri also to hold back all the bowlers who had come as net bowlers. Actually, after the one-day series, most of them were supposed to go back, but somehow we probably thought that in case anything happens to a player, then it would be impossible for anyone to come because of the restrictions. So we said we'll manage with everyone here. And because they were with us for a long period of time, it was possible for them to understand what was demanded of what it demands to be successful in Australia and work on those very lines. So them being with us did help a great deal.
Once
Thank
again,
you.
just wanted to know, read about the fact that, persisting with 5 bowlers, despite the fact that you had a very depleting bench strength due to injury and etc. during the tour. Essentially, how was it managed? And knowing that you had limited resources because of the bowlers were getting injured and frontline bowlers were getting injured, still persisting with the 5 bowler theory, like how confident were you that this would be the key to kind of really taking on Australia successfully?
See, we had formed this 5 bowler theory about 3 years ago, and on most occasions we play 5 bowlers abroad because to bowl out a team in conditions abroad, it demands a lot out of just 4 bowlers. I think it's not impossible, but it's a huge task for us to do that. So in my opinion, and in the team's opinion, Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri have been extremely firm by saying that we need to play these 5 bowlers for India to be successful abroad. Yes, sometimes you may lose matches, but to be honest, the guiding principles of this team is being fearless and being honest. So in pursuit of excellence, we are not scared, or we don't fear losing games. We will lose a few games, but then those games are going to be teaching us a lot of lessons. Sport is about failures, and how you bounce back from failures makes you a much better sportsman. And that's exactly the principle that we are going with. And even during the last test match, there were discussions about playing the extra batsman, but then we thought that would be a negative move. And all of us, the captain and the support staff, felt that the 5 bowler theory has worked for us and let us back that principle. And also the fact that Washington Sundar, we knew that that the way he was batting in the nets and his past record things, that he's more than a capable bat, and also being a left-hander. Yes, we said let's be positive and take the 5 bowler theory.
So you spoke about rotating the bowlers. There has been talk, about you never know when the next test match Shardul will play or Natarajan will play. So what kind of talks do you have with them? And one more thing, so what do you have to say about the spin bowling resources, since Kuldeep has not played a test match since Sydney 2019? What do you have to say about that?
That's okay. Kuldeep, I think he's working hard enough. He's been excellent. I think horses for courses is the best thing. And when Kuldeep gets a chance to play, he will show what he can do, because I think he's bowling magnificently now. And in India, when we play these 4 test matches, that'll be his time. And also the spinners part of it, Jadeja and Ashwin have been magnificent. They are number 1 spinners in the number 1 and 2 spinners in the world. Plus Jadeja's rise as an all-rounder is a huge bonus for the country. The way he's batting, Jadeja is today the most complete all-rounder that we have, and that augurs exceptionally well for India.
Sir, how do you look forward to the England series? India will be playing at home. It should be much easier, but England probably provides a stiffer batting challenge. They have better batsmen. They seem to have better batsmen than Australia. So how do you, what are your plans going to be, for England?
For us, every match is a huge challenge. We can't really say the England batting is better than Australian. Australia, we played them in their home conditions. I would like to quote what my colleague, the fielding coach Sridhar, said earlier in the interview. He said that it took us 2 days to forget the 36 all out. Yes, we were depressed, but then we had to put that behind us and work on the future, and we have to move on. Similarly, we have done an exceptional job in Australia. Yes, we have enjoyed the moment. Last 2 days have been really good. We have enjoyed, we have savored each and every part of our success. But again, we need to forget this also. We have to leave this behind us and look forward for the future of the England tour. And to be very specific, we would have our plans in place. There is time when we all get together. The quarantine, we have to quarantine for a week before the series, and that's when all the planning would be done. And we are quite aware that England is a very, very tough team, and we'll have to be at our best to beat them, and we are quite prepared for that.
Hit the subscribe option and the bell icon to get all the exclusive sports videos on Extra Time.